The stadium, hosting the most matches at the FIFA World Cup 2026, has a retractable roof that weighs as much as 20 Boeing 737 aircraft. Back in 2006, when construction was underway, the engineering team had to build a 1,500-ton roof that could open and close on demand, on a structure with no walls and no pillars. At the time, this was the world's largest stadium, built with the longest arches ever constructed without a single support column. But here was the problem. The stadium's arches curved at a 30-degree angle, and on that angle, moving a roof that heavy, let alone opening it, seemed completely impossible. It would be like dragging the weight of 20 Boeing aircraft up a steep slope. Dozens of engineers were brought in. Every possible idea was tested. Every experiment failed. The solution that finally worked had been invented 150 years earlier by a man who had absolutely nothing to do with engineering. Welcome back to another video. The stadium expected to be the biggest star of FIFA 2026 is the AT&T Stadium, located in Arlington, Texas. Spread across 3 million square feet, this magnificent structure can seat 80,000 people at a time. Its interior volume is 3 million cubic meters, large enough to fit the entire Great Pyramid of Giza inside, and still have room for thousands of people sitting around it. And in terms of height, if you stood the Statue of Liberty inside, it still wouldn't touch the roof. When you look at this stadium and then go through its features one by one, you genuinely can't believe it was built by human hands. 2 arches, each 400 meters long with no pillars. A 1,500-ton retractable roof, full central air conditioning, and 2 sliding glass doors as tall as 12-story buildings. All of these challenges appeared in 2006, when the NFL, America's National Football League, needed a brand new stadium in Texas. The Dallas Cowboys had one clear demand. This stadium shouldn't just host 8 to 10 football games a year. It should be usable and profitable every single day of the year. Texas is known for brutal winter storms and scorching summer heat. Making the stadium usable year-round meant it had to be fully enclosed, with complete climate control. Now, normally, when you need to put a roof over any large structure, you install pillars to support it. But pillars inside a stadium block the view for thousands of fans. This was architect Brian Truby's very first challenge, and by his own admission, the hardest challenge of his entire career. He had to design a roof with no pillars whatsoever. But that wasn't even the biggest part of it. Not only would this roof be pillar-free, it also had to support the world's heaviest LED screen ever built, weighing 600,000 kilograms on its own. Combined with the retractable roof panels, the total load came to 2,100 tons. The answer to this problem was hidden in a structure from history, one that most people today have completely forgotten. In 1875, engineers were laying a railway line in Portugal, but they hit a major obstacle at the banks of the Douro River. The river was 170 meters wide and up to 20 meters deep, with a powerful current. Building pillars in that water to support a bridge was simply not possible. French engineer Gustave Eiffel was called in. Eiffel designed a parabolic arch anchored at both riverbanks that needed no pillars at all. At the time, an arch that large seemed impossible. But Eiffel proved everyone wrong. But it wasn't just the arch shape holding the weight. Look closely at the structure inside the arch. You'll notice it's filled with small triangles. And those triangles are the real secret to its incredible strength. Because the triangle is the only shape in the world that, no matter how much pressure you apply, will never change its form. It may break, but it will never deform. In engineering, this structural system is called a truss system. And it was this exact discovery by Gustave Eiffel that was used in AT&T Stadium, but on a scale that had never been attempted before. 2 arches, each 1,400 feet long, 14 feet thick, and 35 feet deep. Their entire combined weight was distributed onto 4 massive concrete abutments placed 400 meters apart. Each abutment used as much concrete as 200 homes would use in their entire construction. And because the arches were made of steel, which expands in the Texas heat and could crack the concrete, expansion joints were installed between the steel and the abutments. These joints allow the stadium to breathe. 8 months later, the roof structure was complete. A pillar-free stadium with a fully open view was ready. At the center, an iconic rectangular opening was left, a tribute to the Dallas Cowboys' original stadium. But for AT&T, this opening had to be sealed shut against all weather conditions using a retractable roof. Nobody had anticipated just how complicated that part would be. The retractable roof panels had a combined weight 10 times heavier than the largest animal on Earth, the blue whale. Opening and closing them on a curved, sloped arch was one of the most difficult engineering challenges in the entire project. When the roof opens, gravity pulls it down, and it has to be held back. When it closes, it has to push upward against gravity, essentially lifting 10 blue whales up a slope. First, the roof panels were divided into 2 equal halves, so that when the roof opens, both sides of the truss carry equal weight simultaneously. If heavy-duty winches were used to open and close the panels, the winches themselves would add another 3,000 tons of weight on top of the already 1,500-ton roof. And if even one winch moved a single panel at a slightly different speed, the balance of the entire truss would be compromised, potentially with catastrophic results. Not to mention, if a steel cable snapped, the consequences would be devastating. To solve this, engineers turned to a 150-year-old invention, created by someone who was not an engineer at all. In the 19th century, a businessman named Sylvester Marsh ran a meatpacking company, but his real passion was hiking. He loved climbing Mount Washington in New Hampshire. The problem was, this mountain was too steep for most people, and tourists would regularly turn back before reaching the top. In 1869, Marsh designed a special railway system known as a cog railway, or rack railway. Between the regular rails, a toothed rack was installed. On the train itself, a matching gear called a pinion was fitted. The pinion's teeth locked into the rack, allowing the train to climb any slope without slipping. To prevent the train from sliding backward, a lock was placed on the pinion that only allowed it to rotate in one direction. If you've ever ridden a cog railway or a roller coaster, that clicking hammer sound you hear while going up? That's the sound of this lock. This genius invention was called the rack and pinion system. AT&T Stadium's retractable roof was built using this exact rack and pinion system. The lines you see running along the roof, those are the racks. The roof panels grip these tracks and slide along them with complete precision. 130 motors, each 7.5 horsepower, were installed. They power the pinions to close the roof and act as brakes when the roof opens. And because gear sizes are fixed, both roof panels always move at exactly the same speed. The weight on both sides of the truss stays perfectly balanced at all times. The AT&T Stadium retractable roof takes just 12 minutes to fully open or close. Keeping this entire stadium cool in the Texas summer was no small task either. The interior volume of the closed stadium is 3 million cubic meters, equivalent to 75,000 standard rooms. Cooling that volume means cooling the equivalent of 3 Burj Khalifas from top to bottom. You've probably heard of air conditioners rated at 1.5 tons or 2 tons, maybe 4 tons for a large unit. AT&T Stadium uses an 11,000-ton chiller. Its air ducts alone are 6 feet wide. Using the laws of physics, cold air, which is heavier, is pumped from above, falls down over the audience, and reaches the field below. Warm air, which is lighter, rises above the field and is recycled back into the system. Smart, efficient, and remarkably effective. To give the audience the ultimate viewing experience, AT&T Stadium installed what was at the time the world's largest LED screen. It weighs 600,000 kilograms and contains over 10 million individual LEDs. As tall as a 10-story building, it hangs 50 meters above the pitch. Its total display surface is as large as a 3,000 square yard plot, visible from every single corner of the stadium. The stadium's entrance doors are glass panels as tall as 12-story buildings. They're not one solid piece. They're assembled from smaller individual panels, each weighing approximately 86,000 kilograms. These insulated glass doors also open and close using the same rack and pinion system. It takes approximately 18 minutes for them to fully open or close. Now, the main question. Where exactly will the game be played? AT&T Stadium uses artificial turf, which allows events beyond football, like concerts and other sports. But FIFA has a clear rule. Soccer matches must be played on real natural grass, not artificial turf. To meet this requirement, the Dallas Cowboys have set aside a budget of $300 million. But here's the challenge. How do you grow real grass on a concrete floor? The roof doesn't fully open, so the entire field can never receive uniform sunlight. The solution? The management has raised the entire playing field by 6 inches. A special drainage system has been installed underneath for water runoff, and artificial UV lights have been installed to give the grass the sunlight it needs. But the most creative part of the plan, the real grass will not be grown inside the stadium at all. It will be grown on a farm in Colorado, then transported in refrigerated trucks and installed just before each match. On top of all this, the stadium's original seating capacity of 80,000 will be expanded to 94,000 for the World Cup. AT&T Stadium will host a total of 9 matches at FIFA 2026. The first match kicks off on June 14th. The World Cup semi-final will be held here on July 14th, and the moment the World Cup matches are over, the real grass will be removed and the artificial turf will be rolled back in. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and share it generously. Thank you so much for all your wonderful comments. See you in the next incredible video.